Yo, what's good, guys? Q America with another episode of Savants podcast. This is EP6. Hope everybody's doing well today. Hope everybody had a good day today. It is pretty late at night right now, but I just kind of came across something on the news I felt like would be a good topic of conversation for today. And with the whole presidential race coming up and everything like that, I kind of been calling this whole situation with the riots and the protests the purge election year, because it's just, I don't know, it's funny, but it's ironic, but it's also funny. But I was actually just watching TV. I was with my mom, and I saw the fact that LeBron James, maybe it's Steven Jackson, Kendrick Perkins, and like one other basketball player want to start a group to reverse voter suppression. And I'm gonna be honest, with this idea, I'm gonna be real with you. I think I don't think it's the best idea. That's just my opinion. I just simply don't think it's actually gonna make a big effect like they think it is. I feel almost like I'm in a movie where we're going around in circles. Like, I've been telling you guys that for a while. I feel like kind of explaining that whole theory that I have, but even in my last podcast, I feel like I said I feel like this is just a cycle of going around and around in circles, trying to find a solution that we are just constantly just jumping over or missing. It's just going right over our heads. So my whole thing with this whole voter suppression thing and against black people, voter suppression against black people. My thing is this: of all the things that has happened regarding the government, regarding citizens in the past few months, what gives people the confidence to feel like voting is really gonna change something? I'm just gonna be honest and say this, right? I think we put way too much emphasis, and I think we give other people way too much power to make change other than ourselves, right? So this is my thing, voter suppression. Honestly, I'm at the point now where I don't even know if voting is really as effective as we think. I think it's way bigger than the people. I think that I'm just who I am. I just think that the government, or the United States of America, whatever you want to call it, that entity has its own agenda, and to leave the decision up to the people is not enough for them to elect somebody, to be honest. I think that they have their own agendas that they want to carry out, and I feel like there is a face, which is the president, that is the best person to fit that agenda, or whatever agenda it is that they want to get across. That being said, I feel like a lot of people of color, black people specifically, we are so, we emphasize the election so much as if it's got us anywhere in the first place. How many presidents have we had? Let's just think about that. How many presidents have we had, and are we still in the same place? Yes, we are still in the same place. So don't you think at this point we should take matters into our own hands and start doing things for ourselves? Now that I'm on the subject of it, my boy JB actually posted, I went live with him this week. He actually posted something specific on his story, and he posts a lot of stuff, bold things. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but I respect him for it. But he posts a lot of bold things, especially regarding this issue. I feel like he's been going nuts on it. But there was a girl who was talking about the fact that 2 weeks ago we were not allowed to have funerals, and if you had a funeral for a loved one, a dead person, you would go to jail. George Floyd, without anybody really knowing his character, because there's a lot of things circulating around his character, right? Had this nationwide funeral, much political people were at and celebrities are at, so his death somehow became very political, somehow, you know what I mean? And get celebrities at his thing, and it's almost like we were putting emphasis on George Floyd, but not the act of the crime that he did. So why were there celebrities and politics at his funeral as if they knew this man? So apparently George Floyd only knew about 1/3 of the people at that funeral. So it's almost like 2 weeks ago we weren't allowed to have a funeral, right? Okay, funny. We're having riots in protests, which I know that they're going to say spiked coronavirus cases. And now they have a funeral for George Floyd with so many people at it, specifically celebrities and politicians. 2 weeks later, they'd say that you can't have a funeral unless you're going to get arrested, and it's aired on national TV. Now, my thing is, I don't know if any of this stuff seems fishy to you, but it definitely seems fishy to me, and I feel like we're constantly just dancing, and I feel like we're being contorted by a puppet master. And we just decide to not wake ourselves up and see things for what they truly are. That being said, I just want to say that I really genuinely don't think this vote is going to really do anything. The girl actually made, she actually elaborated on the fact that it's almost like they aired George Floyd's funeral as a way to get you angry and upset, and want to go vote. And it's kind of funny because this is like, this is a thing about control. It's not even really a race thing. It's a thing about control. Like, we still are so reliant on the system that we were brought up in, the same system that failed us, and we continue to be reliant on that same system by voting and doing things like that. My thing is, even though I'm a neutral, I was pretty neutral on this whole entire George Floyd thing, understanding both sides, understanding specifically that this dude is a trash bag who did that, but understanding that from a I don't even want to say Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter perspective, I try to understand both sides of it. Like, I don't want to say it's black people and white people because I just think that's ignorant, but let's just say police and African Americans, right? I just want to say, we ourselves have the strength and we have the power to change things within our communities before we look outside of ourselves. Meaning, we have the power to build up our own communities. We have the power to build up ourselves, build up each other. We have the power to exhaust all options that we have before looking at everybody else and trying to blame them. I actually heard a good point that a guy made in a video that one of my cousins posted, and he is of color, obviously my cousin, but it said, yo, straight facts, there is nobody alive right now who was a slave, and there was nobody that can actually have any kind of effect on what is to happen in our future, and there is nobody alive right now that is a slave owner or was, that can really have any kind of effect on where our society goes for the future. Now we are millennials. We are the people who really have effect on our future is millennials, and I would say people from 20 to 40, around that age. They have the most effect on what goes on in our future right now, right? So my thing is, by me bringing up that point, it's almost like, bro, we cannot undo things. It's almost like we are begging for other people to give us reparations for things that happened to us, understandably, but at the same time, this has been happening over and over again. You know what I mean? And the same things, we're asking reparations from people that never had a direct correlation to the problem itself. So we're not talking to the slave owners that did these things. We're not talking to the slaves that were directly in these situations. None of us were ever in that situation. So what can we now do? Is all we could do is really build from where we were. We could look at ourselves and we could change and we could control ourselves. We could build up our communities. We can watch what we post. We can watch how we portray ourselves. We can watch the things that we say. We can watch all these things. There's a lot of things that we can help ourselves. And it's to be real, it's bro, it's just an accountability issue to me. I almost feel like people just want to be mad about something. They want to point the finger. They want to say this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And they want to feel like a victim. I feel like it's honestly human nature to want to be victimized, because out of victimization, there is some reward. And it's I don't want to be like that. I see it even in cases where it's not correlated to black rights. It's not it's not correlated to civil rights in general, but just people love to be victimized and feel bad for themselves. And my thing is, bro, life does not feel bad for you. No one's gonna feel bad for you. You gotta pick yourself up and you gotta get yourself there no matter what. Be accountable for your own mistakes, your own stuff, man. Don't wait for anybody to try to do it for you. And it's like this whole voting thing, it's just like we're putting so much emphasis on it, and we've been in this situation about every single election, and it's like exhausting at this point. Like how many times how many elections do we have to go through to realize that these people are puppets? It really doesn't matter how we feel, and whatever is going to be done is going to be done, because the agenda of the whole United States as a whole is bigger than the people. And that's just a fact. To me, it's a fact. If you have a different opinion on it, you can elaborate on your opinion and why you feel that way. But that's just how I feel. I believe that every president is put in power to get across a certain agenda and fulfill a certain position. Just like how you apply for a certain job and there's a certain duty that you have to fulfill. It's the same exact concept. So I'm just saying, like, just open your eyes up and like, yo, we need to chill with the whole like election thing, and we need to realize like, yo, we have the power to rebuild our communities. We have the power to police ourselves. We have the power to do all these things, man. Like, we have the power to not portray ourselves a certain, like, we have the power to do all this stuff, man. Like, stop putting so much emphasis on this election. Stop putting so much emphasis on the same system that failed you if you're upset about it. And to me, that's just facts. But yo, God bless. Peace, love, you know what I mean? Like I said, I come from a place of, this is just my opinion. You can agree with it or not. But God bless everybody. Hope everybody takes it easy. Tune in next week. See you guys later. Peace.